So this is the Combat Station. I'm your host, Ty Matthews, and today we have a special guest, Blake Perry. Let's start, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me.
All right, mate. It's all right, mate. Anytime. So let's get into it. Obviously, at Bellator this weekend, you picked up your first pro win. You obviously had a rough first round, but you came back with a submission in round two. How do you feel coming off this win?
Yeah, man, I feel good. Definitely lots of areas to improve. Like you said, the first round was not great, and beginning the second round didn't start off great either. But it's about how you finish instead of how you start. So just gotta, luckily there's a lot of things that I know now that I really need to work on, and yeah, just use that fight as a good gauge on where I can hone in and improve.
Now, let me ask you something. From that fight, where do you feel you found your weaknesses lied, and where do you feel you had any strengths that maybe you weren't as aware of going into the fight?
Yeah, I think I didn't really, there's not a whole lot like I guess like surprising, definitely there's the areas that are super obvious that I need to work on was I was on bottom way too much. Just the control aspect of it for sure I need to work on. And yeah, as far as like areas I didn't know I was stronger, I kind of just did what I drill every day in, day out kind of thing. And yeah, man, just stuck to the game plan when things got tough and trusted my training.
Now, going into the fight, you were a big underdog. How does it feel upsetting the bookies the way you did?
Yeah, man, if it's nice when I got buddies back home placing bets on me and stuff. Hopefully help them out a little bit, maybe make rent a little easier this month for them. But no, man, it's always it's a good feeling. There's been a lot of fights I've been an underdog in my career. It's just in a way I actually kind of prefer that, no pressure or anything, just go in there and perform like I know I can, and yeah, man, just go from there.
Now, you finished him with the DOS. Was this something that you were training for before the fight? Was this part of the game plan to maybe catch him in that sort of submission?
Yeah, actually, no, not for him specifically, but I just drill that a lot. Just being tall and skinny, the Darces and Anacondas and that kind of stuff come a little more natural. Everybody's got their body types and stuff that certain moves and certain types of actions and stuff just come more natural. So for a long, lanky guy, the long submissions and stuff are just something I always kind of try to keep sharp.
And finally, on this fight, when you did get the submission locked in, what was running through your head? Did you think you had him, and what after, and how was the emotions after?
So yeah, during, man, just locked it up, and it felt pretty tight, and I figured if I just kind of ran with it and adjusted, no matter which way we rolled and whatnot, I figured that, if I just stick with it and everything, I could probably get the finish. And yeah, man, right after it was pretty awesome, getting to go out and see my family and everybody that came out for the fight. Yeah, it was a lot of emotions. It was pretty awesome. Overall, it was a very, very dope experience.
Now, going forward in your career, what are the plans? Do you plan to stick with Bellator, or do you have other goals and aspirations, maybe different promotions?
Yeah, for the time being, right now, I would love to stick with Bellator if they'd have me, man. Because I'm not on contract or anything with them, but I would love to go back and fight for them again. If my next fight, I would love nothing more than to fight for Bellator again if they'd have me.
When do you want to fight next? And did you come up to fight with any injuries?
No, I was pretty fortunate. No injuries or anything after the fight. Yeah, I was fortunate in that aspect. And yeah, man, I'm down really, really whenever, man. Like I said, whenever I'm hoping to get back in that Bellator cage. As soon as they'll have me, man. So I'm just kind of staying ready, back to training, working on my weaknesses, tightening up those holes, and yeah, man, ready to rock whenever.
Now, what got you into MMA?
So I grew up wrestling. I grew up my whole life from, I think I started wrestling in junior high up through high school and college and stuff. And then, yeah, just transitioned into MMA, and it was kind of one of those natural transitions, going from combat sport to another combat sport. But I always kind of knew that I wanted to give it a shot. And yeah, man, I just, when the time was right, when I was too old to keep wrestling and stuff, yeah, I knew MMA was the move for me.
Now, coming up soon, they've confirmed a lot of fights. There was a big leak. I don't know if you've seen it, but they've leaked the UFC pay-per-view.
Oh no, I haven't.
Khamzat Chimaev, Nate Diaz has been it's in the works.
Ooh.
I was gonna ask, what is your opinion on that fight, and who do you have?
Shit, I mean, I'm a big Nate Diaz fan, man. I know obviously he's gonna be a massive underdog in that fight, but I gotta stick with the hero of mine, dude. Growing up, that's definitely who I want to win. And you never know, man. It's like I said, I know he's gonna be counted out underdog wise, and in Vegas, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty crazy betting odds. But I have faith, man. I'm pulling through for Diaz.
And also on the card, they confirmed Sean O'Malley's getting his first big step up in Pedro Munoz. Do you feel he will be able to win that fight? Do you see winning?
Oof, that's a good one too, man. Both those guys are monsters. Yeah, I tell you what, I think people don't give Sugar Sean enough credit. Everyone says that, oh, he wins against, hasn't had that type of competition, but I think he's the real deal, man. I think Sugar Sean's gonna pull that one out.
Now, when can we expect to see you again in the octagon?
I'm hoping this year for sure. I'm hoping probably maybe like towards the end of this year would be awesome, man. Yeah, just give me a little time to tighten up my game and everything. And like I said, be back in there within a few months would be awesome.
What was the experience like as well fighting in Hawaii? Because obviously you're fighting a hometown guy. What was it like fighting in Hawaii?
Yeah, man, it was pretty awesome. I've actually fought out there 7 or 8 times now. So I'm pretty familiar with it. That was where I got my start fighting. So I'm out in California now, but in terms of fighting out in Hawaii, it's always awesome. The atmosphere, you can't beat it, in my opinion.
And finally, do you have a message for your fans out there?
I appreciate that. I just want to give a quick shout out to, first off, anyone that follows me and watches any of my fights or anything. I really appreciate it, because that people, I know lives are busy, and if they take time out of their day to watch any MMA fighters, it helps us a lot. And just a quick shout out to a few of my sponsors would be awesome. Guarantee Clothing, Telltale Tattoos, Mom's Basement MMA podcast. Yeah, there's a whole bunch more, but those are just a few off the top of my head that help me pretty consistently. So I just want to give those guys a shout out, and thank you to you as well, man. Appreciate you, and for all you do and giving us a platform, and you're good at what you do, man. So thank you.
Thank you, mate, and congratulations on your big win. And before we go, do you want to say what your Instagram is so people can follow it?
Yeah, appreciate that. It's Blake MMA 170. Just one word.
Well, mate, thank you for your time. I do wish you the best of luck going forward, and hopefully we can have you back on here soon.
I would love to. Thanks, man.
This has been the Combat Station. This is Blake Perry, and we are out.